Hello guys, this is Pedram Raufi from Gerchik Co, and you're going to watch the market analysis for this week. We're going to go through different assets on the stock market, main indexes of United States stock market. We're going to check the technical situation on the charts of main Forex pairs, and we are going to, at the end of the program, we're going to check the situation on the cryptocurrency market. We are going to check the most main assets of cryptocurrency market, the Bitcoin and Ethereum prices, and we're going to actually go through the news background which we have and the economy calendar as well. We're going to check all this information and make some conclusions for today's tradings and maybe even midterm traders, so you would understand what kind of trends we are going to have during this week, maybe due to some economic factors and due to some geopolitical factors, and of course technical factors by the analyzing of charts. As you hear and as you see from this week, and actually this movement have been started from previous week, United States stock market have been fallen a little bit further. It felt a little bit further, and that was one of our predictions, that United States stock market could make some upward corrections. It's going to get ready for some correctional movements, but mostly it's going to finish the potential of the retesting of local minimums. I'm going to show you the situation on the charts from previous time. If you remember, we were moving around 4,000, we were above 4,100 by S&P 500, and this level was the main level above which we were making a correctional movement. If you remember, I was telling you about the Jim Cramer's prediction from previous week, that he told us that from the Monday of previous week you can actually start to buy the lows on the stock market. Here was the situation, which have closed by a really high profit for a moment for people who actually get into market from Monday till Friday. But at the end of the Friday, at the end of the American session of Friday, we had the continuation of downward movement and the closure of the day near to local minimums. From the start of this week, from yesterday, we had the continuation of downward potential, as we told you, to the level $4,000, which is a really psychological level. So if you remember from previous times, we told you that prices are going to make some corrections, but there is still a possibility of the retest of the psychological level of $4,000, which have been retested already, and now prices maybe would get into some main consolidational phase and then start to rise if situation on the job market won't improve. Because the main reason why we were so sure that price of the stock market indexes of the United States is not going to fall further was the factor of job market, because job market in the United States have to get worse and worsen by the time, because it's something that happened after some crisis. That's the main thing that would happen after some crisis. Job market is starting to a little bit fall, and this would help stock market. But how? It would actually make Federal Reserve System, the central bank of the United States, to not to hike the interest rate, to not tighten the monetary policy, but only because of this week's news about some really fast and sharp rises of some job indexes. We had a really sharp rise of dollar indexes, which actually happened on the predictions of Federal Reserve System hiking interest rate or tightening monetary policy, which caused this kind of fall down, this kind of downward movement. And because it's really impulsive, because it's actually retesting a really psychological level of $4,000, and simultaneously we're observing a formation of the reversal signal, which called convergence between the line of RSI and minimums of this week and yet last week, we have some final clues of next stop in downward movement, which could mean that prices on stock market in this week and during next week could really start already to rise or just start moderately rise. Data from job market in this week were showing that actually the indexes are picking, and they're showing that maybe in the near future the data is going to be less optimistical, which won't help and which won't make Federal Reserve System to hike the interest rate or tighten the monetary policy as we waited for it. So that's why I'm not really believe in the continuation of this downward movement. Just pay attention where we're now located on the S&P 500, a really psychological level. We're really speculatively, we are retesting it really impulsively. We have a reversal signal on the 4-hour chart, which is a really important chart, which is a really midterm important chart. And because of all these factors, I cannot say and I cannot believe that stock market of the United States is going to continue this movement. Let's just check one daily chart and maybe even weekly chart, because at the first days of a month you can actually go through the weekly chart and see what is going on with weekly charts, so you would understand the situation maybe in a higher scales. Weekly chart is showing us that actually we have been break through the local minimum and the psychological level of $4,000. That's not a really good signal. That's not a really good signal. But there would be some stop in downward movement only because this downward speculation could be continued by next bearish speculation, which would be appeared in a shape of some consolidational formations, for example, in a shape of some local horizontal channels which could actually form in future, which would actually mean that amplitude of the price action could really get lower. So it could really get lower, and here the $4,000, 3,800 are the last levels and the main supports of stock market, after the test of which we are going to start to rise moderately, maybe really lame. Maybe this upward movement would be really lame and moderate, but at least there is some reasons why we are not going to fall that much, despite different type of analysis which is coming now from different analytic banks like Goldman Sachs, that previously told that it's going to change its own strategy about stock market because stock market is kind of going to fall further. But because of today's movement, because of this week's and this month's really sharp downward movement, and just previous candle, which is a weekly candle, which is the first weeks of this month's candle, his closing showing us that movement would be speculative, that for bearish speculative, but at least we are waiting for some consolidational movement or stop of the downward movement. So I cannot tell that in the midterm we are going to fall that much. I can tell that 3,800, 4,000 are the main range after the retest of which we could know prices are going to reverse. I think that prices are going to reverse at least from these levels. And for now, for today, I'm not looking and I'm not waiting for any kind of correctional movement. I think that stock prices could make some really low correctional movement to 4,100, but that wasn't that much to get into markets as an investor. So because of that, I cannot say that I'm going to like buy like today or tomorrow, but you have to get ready, because the next closure of the day, of today's day, of tomorrow's day, above 4,100, 4,200, which could really happen, would mean that prices are going to stop this downward movement for a while, and maybe they're going to make some correctional upward movements. Pay attention that here we have a channel on S&P 500, which is really important. I'm going to show it, I'm going to draw it now for you. There's a really important channel here. Let's see. Which actually looks a little bit like this. And if you pay attention, the impulsive retest of the local minimum of the channel and the really impulsive retest, and when this minimum and this local bottom is around the psychological level of $4,000, this is a really great signal for reversal. Even if you don't believe in it, even if you see that prices are getting under this level, that's a speculation. You have to know it. You have to know the main thing about stock market of the United States, which is rising on some really artificial reasons, because Federal Reserve System is not really interested on the collapse of stock market. So here's my prediction that maybe is telling me that prices are going to further rise, and they're going to get into some consolidational movement first and then moderately rise. And we can actually next go through the Dow Jones prices and industrial index of the United States market, and of course the high-tech index of Nasdaq as well. And the situation would be exactly the same if you pay attention. Dow Jones haven't even went that much under the local historical minimum of 32,200. Just pay attention on this factor. 32,200 is a really important range, which is now have been retesting. And Dow Jones is a really conservative. You can actually analyze it really conservatively, because it's showing us the picture which would happen on a S&P 500 index in future. So here the situation is the same actually, and we are even not breaking. We are not even getting under local historical minimum of a really important level of $32,000. Maybe we can get to 31,500, but all of these movements is going to be speculatively, or going to happen really speculatively. That would be a bearish speculation, after which you're going to be sure that, oh, prices are going to fall further, stock market is collapsed already, but you don't understand that actually this movement, this impulsive retest, it doesn't mean that prices are going to fall during this week or maybe even during next week. They could actually start to consolidate, then even rise. So, and I think that there would be different type of fundamental factors for it in the next weeks as well. So let's go through the Nasdaq prices. The high-tech main index of United States stock market. 13,000 was a level after the test of which we told you that prices are going to reverse. It hasn't happened. Here now we are going to retest 12,000, and I think that prices, because of this impulsive breakthrough, are not going to fall further during this week and next week. Maybe they're going to make some upward corrective movements, and they would actually continue to maybe rise really moderately between 12,000 and 13,000. So this would be a real picture of next price action movements in the near future during this week, I think. And there isn't any kind of signal of reversal as a formation of convergence. So here we cannot say that prices are going to reverse that much, but we can say that prices at least are going to start to consolidate. And let's go through the Forex market. We're going to check the dollar prices, but before we start to check the dollar prices, index, and then go through the euro, pound, Australian dollar, and New Zealand dollar. And next we're going to actually check the price of oil, gas, gold, commodity prices as well. And before that, we're going to check the economic calendar of this week, so we would know what kind of factors on the market we're going to have. There's a really important release for today about oil. EIA short-term energy outlook, which is actually not that much important. But if it's going to be negative, it doesn't mean that oil prices are going to fall. I mean, if the AI release is going to about higher oil outputs or supplying in the world, it won't mean that prices of oil are going to fall that much. Mostly, we have a problem with oil supplies, which is not getting solved in the near future. So, for tomorrow, which is Wednesday, we have European Central Bank's President Christian Lagarde speaks, which would be about the inflation rate, which would be about the interest rates controlling and decisions about interest rates. Core CPI from United States, which is rising. That's a really good signal for dollar. Crude oil inventories. We're going to have a really big deficit of the amount of oil producing from United States, which is a really good signal for oil prices to rise in this week, during this week. And actually, during this week we're having not that much releases from United States, but they're really important, like GDP, the gross domestic products, which is falling. I'm sorry, it's for Britain, which is falling, yeah. But year to year, it's actually have been rise a little bit. Manufacturing productions of Great Britain, which is getting a higher deficit. That's not a really good signal for pound at Thursday. Monthly monthly GDP change, which is have no predictions. So we're going to leave pound maybe alone and mostly look through the dollar prices changing. So if dollar prices start to fall a little bit, pound has a good potential of pound prices could have a really good potential for rising again. We're going to check the prices as well in the near future. Initial jobless claims, which is really important at Friday, I think, yeah? No, it's actually a continuation of the Thursday calendar. Initial jobless claims from United States, which is falling. And I'm told you that mainly, generally, the situation with job market in the United States is not that optimistical. Maybe some long-term predictions are optimistical, but at short term, we don't have a really good reason for Federal Reserve System to hike the interest rate, to strengthen the monetary policy. And the PPI from United States, which is rising a little bit. And the last day of this week, what kind of releases we are going to have which are important? Unfortunately, none. So let's start to check the dollar prices index. As we see here, dollar prices have been stuck under a local resistance, which is already not a really good signal, which is not a really good reason to buy it further. And we're around 104, which was the target level from previous time. If you remember, previous time we were making some downward correctional movements, but we told you that there is at least another chance of the retest of local maximums on the market, and prices in the near future as well. They could make some further speculations to 105. That's not the secret. They could actually make it. But after that, mostly we are waiting for some reversal, which could start to continue and actually help stock markets to rebound again, to start to rise again. Euro prices to United States dollar. We're going to check the euro prices. Consolidation movement is continuing, and it's not falling that much if you paid attention from previous week, from even previous week before previous week. I mean, the movement wasn't that downward, and here euros straightly showing us the situation could be really reversal for euro. There is a range of speculation 1.050, 1.040, which could get retested, but this could be a really impulsive retest. Before we get stuck under 1.04, 1.040, we cannot say 1.050. I'm sorry, we cannot say that prices are going to fall further. It means that we need to just break through 1.050, then we have to retest it from downward from downside, and then we have to continue to fall. And just after this kind of signals, we can say the prices are going to continue to fall. Before that, we cannot say, especially if this levels like 1.050, 1.040 get retested really impulsively or speculatively. This would be a really great signal of next strengthening of prices. So let's see what kind of chances have GBP, the British pound to United States dollar. A really great picture. That's a really amazing picture. Here we have a head and shoulders, actually, pattern, reversal pattern. We have the continuation of the convergence, which means that we are going to have a reversal, and a really impulsive and false breakthrough of local minimum, which is a really great signal. Even if we have been stuck under this mirror level of 1.2420, even we have to wait for next strengthening above this level. So I don't think the price are going to fall that much. Maybe 1.22, at least impulsively and speculatively we could retest this level, but mainly we have to wait for the strengthening above 1.24, which would mean that prices are going to rise further. And that's the main scenario which I'm waiting for. Actually, there is some historical reasons why I actually believe in that. Because for now, if you pay attention on the, for example, daily chart or weekly chart, you'll find out that prices are really located near to a really important minimums of 1.22, 1.20. Of course, they are really far from nowadays price actions. These levels, these supports, are really located far from today's price actions. They could get retested as well, but mostly, even before the retest of these levels, we have a chance of reversal, because a psychological level of 1.20 is not going to get retested if we are already getting near to it really impulsively. It's a really impulsive movement, and mostly when we are getting really impulsively near to psychological level, the probability of its breakthrough is really less than if we get near to it, near this level, the psychological level, in a way of, for example, some wedge formation, which means that volatility is shrinking, for example, yeah, or channel formation. Impulsive movement to near to a psychological level, it's not a really good reason of its breakthrough. It would mean that actually we won't even break it, we're going to reverse from it. So I'm actually going to save my prognosis about dollars reversal, stock market reversal, I mean dollars downward reversal, stock market upward reversal, which would actually make Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, pound, euro to start to rise. That's actually my prediction, which I'm waiting for it to come true. Now prices are speculatively retesting local minimums, and the stock market and dollar prices are as well speculatively is retesting really local main and historical maximums of it, which are around 100 and 104. They are real historical levels, after the retest of which dollar have to actually start to fall again. So I'm waiting for this reversal. This reversal could actually come true within some weeks, but we are waiting for it. Australian dollar is getting ready to local mirror level of the support of 0.6960, 69, let's say 69 and 68. Let it be 60, 0.68 and 0.69. That's a range before getting under which we have to be sure that prices are going to reverse, especially because we get near to this level by a really impulsive movement from a highest, from a local resistance, a really straight movement during the week. I'm sorry, I'm going to show you the 4-hour chart to be more accurate about the price movement during this week, because I just showed you the weekly chart, which means that actually weekly chart have been showing us that in long term we're waiting for the reversal. Mostly we're waiting for it. Here as well, historical minimums have been retesting a really great breakthrough of local minimums. We are waiting for the strengthening of prices above 0.71, 0.72, and I think that we're going to make it through, but by some time. 0.69, 0.68 are local minimums which have get speculatively retested, and as impulsive it would be, this would mean that prices are going to reverse. So if mostly the prediction comes true and we get an impulsive retest of 0.69, 0.68, we could have a really good reason to say that prices are already getting into the reversal. Here we have actually a widening of volatility, which means that prices have to reverse. Here we have another reason, which is a convergence between local minimums of 2 weeks and the oscillator line. We have different really long-term, mid-term signals from previous week which haven't changed till now, which mean that prices are getting ready for some general reversal, a really general reversal. So we just need to get ready for it. Of course, downward speculations, bearish speculations could continue. New Zealand dollar to United States dollar. Here we have a breakthrough of local minimum. Let's check the daily chart. It's showing us that we are really near to an important mirror level and a really important support, which is historically have been retested, and after the retest, which prices mostly have reversed. And there is really no chances for dollar prices to rise that much in near future, because United States dollar prices nowadays is retesting a historical maximum of 104, 105 are the really historical maximums, after the test of which they're actually going to start to reverse. And I think that situation with job market is not going to be that well, and oil prices rising in the near future and during this month, next month, at least is going to came to the markets as well. China is not going to always make a pressure on oil prices or on gas prices. Oil prices and gas prices are going to rise further, because situation with sanctions against Russia is not going to help markets during next months at least. And they have a really powerful prediction, fundamental reason for oil prices to rise, for gas prices to rise, which won't really leave dollar prices alone to rise further. They would actually make dollar prices to fall again. So because of that, the prediction of the general reversal in the price of New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar, euro, pound even, and stock market indexes like S&P 500, Dow Jones, and Nasdaq prices are going to still be in my analysis, because that's the thing that I'm waiting for, and it's going to actually happen near future. And due to the daily chart of New Zealand dollar to United States dollar, we can actually see that there is no psychological level nearby. There is 0.62, which could get retested in the near future, but mostly this is a last level after the retest of which we have to wait for some consolidational movement or even reversal. I think that this reversal upward would happen faster than we think. So I don't think that we are even going to retest 0.62, because for now this movement is really impulsive. This downward movement even on daily chart, looks really impulsive. So I cannot say that prices are going to even retest the historical minimum of 0.62, which have been retested here, which have been retested, for example, here. I cannot say even that prices are going to retest it, because for now, the breakthrough have been realized by really impulsive downward movement, which I showed you already, which is this impulsive movement. And we're going to go through the commodity prices. Let's check the oil prices and gas prices. Then we're going to go through the Canadian dollar and maybe Mexican peso. So what is going on with WTI, West Texas Index of oil prices, of crude oil, due to the 4-hour chart? From previous time, we had some reversal from $100 that we told you that is going to be continued, but as we get shrinked further, as volatility gets shrinked further, we had a really great signal of reversal. That's first thing. And the second one is that the really mild divergence here between maximums of the price and between the line of RSI, and of course the retest of local resistance, which is a mirror level actually of 110, which made prices to impulsively fall. And that's not a really good signal for next sellers, that are going to get into market. I think that prices mostly are going to reverse generally in the near future, but the potential of speculation for bears still be on the market. So $100, 96 or even 92 could get retested, but I don't believe that the retest of 92. I think that $96 at least could get retested, but further we are not going to fall. Maybe 96, but you have to get ready after the test of $96 to get into markets again, because oil prices are going to start to rise further. Oil prices is not going to fall that much. And the gas prices, natural gas. So what happened to natural gas? We had different type of new sanctions which have been realized, which have been approved against Russia. And we had some releases that showed us from previous week to the end of previous week and the start of this week that Russian output of gas and oil have been raised really too much, which actually made market of gas prices to fall further. We had a really shrink volatility here, which were a good signal of reversal, and due to the price action on 4-hour chart and then today's retest of $6.50, I cannot say the prices are going to fall further, because $6.50 is a range of the main support due to the technical analysis mostly. And actually we can say that this speculation have been ended. So it was really related to some releases from Russia about oil output, which is not cutting, which is not actually, and gas output supplying to Europe, which is not cutting even through today. And there was a really important release, long-term release from Russia about oil outputs and gas supplies to Europe, which showed that Russian gas output have been raised previous quarter, like too much, even like it was a record. So this made gas prices to fall a little bit, but this situation is not going to be continued. We have a $6.50, $6, which are going to get retest, and after their retest, we're going to get into the upward movement again. So just wait for it. You're going to get into markets. Bulls, don't forget, you have a chance of next profit. So you have to just get ready for it and get into market in the nearest days, which are coming. And United States dollar to Canadian dollar, which is important oil asset, which is related to oil Canadian dollar, like Russian ruble, like Mexican peso. Oil exporters currencies, national currencies, are really related to oil prices falling or rising. So for now, we have a chance of oil prices speculative downward impulses, after which prices are going to reverse. And that's the only reason which make us to believe that the price of United States dollar to Canadian dollar is going to rise further. But I don't think so. There was a breakthrough of local resistance, and after this impulsive breakthrough of local resistance, we are having a shrinking of volatility in the 4-hour chart. We have a really mild, really moderate divergence here, and I think that this divergence is not even visible. It's actually visible on 4-hour chart as well, but it would be more visible on on hourly chart, which is actually really moderate. But we have to know that prices of dollar could make some speculative movements, upward speculative movements, but we are waiting for reversal, and we are waiting for oil and gas reversal from the bottom of the market. So for next days, maybe bulls on gas market, on oil market, Canadian, for example, buyers, Canadian dollar buyers, could get ready to get into markets, and on other side, dollar sellers have to get ready as well, for example. Next comes commodity prices, gold and silver prices predictions, and we're going to actually check the palladium and platinum, which have been impacted by, which prices have been impacted by some sanctions from Britain against Russian supply of platinum and palladium at the first days of this week. I think at the weekend there was news about sanctions from Britain against Russian supply of the palladium and platinum. We're going to check the price of palladium and platinum as well. Maybe there would be some potential of next of the continuation of upward movement, which won't be that realistic on the gold or silver chart, for example. So let's see what's happened to gold prices. As we said, the downward movement of gold is not going to be continued. So we had a retest of local minimums, and we told you that this retest, even despite all of this pressure, which prices have been showing that there's accumulation of energy near to local minimums, we told that it's not going to be continued. Here we have a formation of a really important pattern, reversal pattern of head and shoulders, which is confirming, which is now forming, and this would really mean that prices are going to rise further. So for gold prices, we have actually be ready for some downward speculations before we get into bullish market. It would be the levels 1,850, 1,840. I don't think so, but maybe 1,850 mostly is going to get retested again as a speculative downward movement, as a speculative movement of bears on the market. And after that, when sellers finish the speculations, we can get into market. So we have some chances of the bearish speculation, but after that you have to get ready to get into the bullish market as fast as you can. Silver prices as well. Here we have some really we are going to have a really hard and as we say, shrink volatility on silver chart as well, which won't get you to believe in high profits in tradings, especially when we are falling and there is some signals of reversal, which could be really moderate. So as gold, as silver, the reversals which could happen would really be so moderate. We have a continuation of the convergence, for example, on silver chart. We have a retest of a really important local minimum of $22. And the last level of speculation for bears are 21.50, under which we are not going to get stuck, I think so. So just maybe for now, for day traders, bears are going to be in priority. They could actually speculate further. But I think that after the speculation, after the finishing of the speculation, after the retest of $21.50, maybe even $21, I don't really believe in 21. After the retest of 21, maybe 21.50. After the retest of this level, we're going to get reversed, and we're going to get into some consolidational phase. So there would be a great, mostly good speculative moment for most bears who know how to scalp, for example, on the markets in short term during the day. But we are all getting ready for some general reversal in the markets, about which we have different type of signals, and about which actually not that much analysts are telling or saying for today. Some of them have been told us different type of predictions from previous month, for example, that stock market is not going to fall. But for now, we have some speculative moment. We have um, some predictions which are telling us that there is a prediction, there is a probability of getting into another crisis, for example. That's making stock markets to actually fall for now, but that's not going to affect them for long term or for midterm. So we're waiting for reversal, and mostly if the oil prices start to fall, gold, silver, and the other commodity would have a chance to rise as well. I'm not telling you about oil because oil is going to rise even without help of dollar. But gold and silver are a little bit related, so they could maybe be under pressure while dollar is rising really wildly. Let's see what's going on with platinum, which have been get under sanctions. A really sharp upward movement here, which could continue in near future. And now we are retesting a really important psychological level. 970, 980 are the next levels which could get retested. And palladium prices as well, showing us that they're retesting a really important psychological, not psychological, but a mirror level of 2,200. But under price action, really near to our price movement, is located psychological support of $2,000. Breakthrough of which is not really realistic because we have got false breakthrough of it already, and mostly we're going to strengthen about it. New sanctions against Russian supply of palladium and platinum are helping this chart to look not only right as a bullish picture of next price movement by the technical analysts, but looks right even due to some fundamental reasons. As you know, next what we check is United States dollar to JPY, Japanese yen, which is a risk asset as well, like gold, like silver, and Swiss franc. So from previous time, we had some downward correctional movement. We told you that Japanese yen is not going to be weaker than United States dollar, and it's not going to get weakened in near future because of some fundamental reasons. And even if dollars start to fall, yen prices is not going to rise, and this is a really important thing, which make many of maybe day traders to be more sure about the continuation of trend on the United States dollar chart to Japanese yen. So mostly bullish trend is in the priority in near future. 128 is a level of speculation, of bearish speculation, after the retest of which we're going to finally get into next jump, or even we could get stuck around inside 130, 126. That's a really realistic picture as well, I think. 128, let's say 132 is better to choose because it's around 130, and while dollar is not rising and the yen as well can't even rise, During this kind of situation, maybe this consolidation around the psychological level of 130 would be really logical and more pro realistic. United States dollar to Swiss franc situation could be as the same divergence signal we have, the reversal signal, but we are not going to tell about reversal before the test of $1. So there's a chance of price, I'm sorry, 1 franc. There's a chance that prices are going to retest the 1 and then you're going to reverse, because here is a reversal retest. Here we have the chance of next reversal, and there is some long-term divergence signals as well. Bitcoin prices and Ethereum prices, we're going to go through the Bitcoin and Ethereum prices, as we said from previous time, that you don't have to believe the speculation of bulls for now on the Bitcoin market, and the downward movement is going to be continued. $30,000 have been retested, and there is some reasons that many analysts doesn't believe that price of Bitcoin is going to rise in near future that much. Maybe they're going to make some maybe they're going to make some corrective upward movements to 36,000, 34,000, but not further. So we are going to take 35 and 37 for next bullish speculation, and then we're going to fall again, or even get into some consolidational movements, but mainly we're going to fall further. And Ethereum prices as well, here for now, for today, we have some reasons to believe in some bullish speculation. Movement is really impulsive. I cannot say that this bullish speculation could be really far, could continue that far, but after the test of 2600, mainly we are going to reverse again. Thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe on the channel and ring the bell so you would know what kind of programs we are going to have in future, and you won't miss any of them. Don't forget to check our main official site of Gerchik Co in English. There you can find different type of instruments for tradings, for beginners, and for professional traders as well. Different type of courses, different type of free information and instruments which you can actually use, and different type of sell-offs on very interesting packages for traders in which you can find different type of material for yourself, and different type of signals or even instruments by the help of which you can optimize your trading on the MetaTrader of Gerchik Co. Thank you again, and until next time, take care of yourself. Have good tradings. Bye bye.